Have you ever set New Year's resolutions, aiming for it to be the best year of your life, only to feel deep down that this year's probably just going to be more of the same? Not much is really going to change. And as the year progresses, things are more or less the same and you're discouraged, disappointed. Well, I feel like that's been many people's lives, and I want to address some points this New Year's Eve in just a very casual, candid, non edited video discussing some quick things about this topic and maybe how you can change that or if you should ever change that. First and foremost, think about it. Just because things aren't changing drastically doesn't mean that they have to see a big change in your life overall. We oftentimes overestimate what we can accomplish in a year or 2 years, and we underestimate what we can accomplish in 10 years or 5 years or 15. So the things that you're doing right now, even though the changes seem subtle or small, may have a huge impact later on. A lot of people see me reading all these books, cramming all these books, dozens, double-digit books, and some of them don't care. Some of them think I'm wasting my time because they don't think my life is changing much. But those are incremental changes that take years to compound and manifest. Eating a little bit healthier every day, or exercising a bit more, or meditating for 2 minutes extra a day, or 5 minutes or 10 minutes, is not going to have a noticeable effect within a week or even a month or a year. But those will have monumental effects when you compare it to the guy who's always eating 500 extra calories a day. It compounds over time. So keep that in mind. And I think the other thing is don't always do the same stuff that you have been doing if you've screwed up. Take my YouTube channel, for instance. I think I've been on YouTube longer than most creators. If you look at the create date on this channel, it's in 2008 or so. So that's almost like 13, 14 years on YouTube. And you look at the amount of videos I've uploaded, it's in the thousands. It's almost 2,000 videos. Now, why is it that I still only get 17 views per video, 80 views per videos rather than thousands or tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions? And when you look into it, it is because I have done the same thing over and over. These type of unedited videos. Now, this year, and technically I started about 2 months ago, I have been switching it up for the first time ever. I've been doing what I've been avoiding like the plague for years past, which is Photoshop and Premiere Pro. In my head, I thought they were just so complicated and cumbersome, and it'd take hours to edit a photo, and I was just intimidated. So I didn't do it. And you know what? I actually cared more about impacting people rather than the numbers. So almost like every other video, there'd always be someone who was kind of ignorant of this and new to my channel, and they'd be like, hey, can I talk to you? I got some new tips that I don't think you've heard any before. And then they'd tell me the things that, you've probably heard before, even though you're not a YouTuber. You should have good thumbnails. You should really edit your videos. You should have B-roll. And then you get tons of views. And what they didn't realize, what I sometimes would mention, is that like, hey, I'm not just doing it for the views and subscribers. If I was, I would have given up a long time ago. Most people don't put out 2,000 videos and keep going. But I did it because of helping others, my higher level purpose, the impact of making your lives better, reaching your potential. But also, I was like, the numbers do matter, and growing and more views are generally better things. So with all that in mind, I was like, this is the year. And so it kind of started like mid last year. I invested into Adobe Creative Cloud. I started watching tons and tons of videos on editing, on making YouTube thumbnails with Photoshop. and I've been putting out videos that were highly edited. Not this one, but the one before, and then the one before that, they were very highly edited with B-roll, with thumbnails. They took like 100 times more hours than this casual video here. And I'm noticing some results. Not as much as I expected. I mean, part of me was like, oh, this is going to hit 100,000 views easy. And both of them did like 500 views. But that's still better than 17, still better than 84. And so I'm heading in the right direction. And I think the third thing is you will always encounter dissenters, you always encounter naysayers, and you always encounter people with contradictory opinions. Don't let those hold you back. Don't let you pursue your passion, your craft, pursue your crazy idea and have someone say, well, you shouldn't do that. I'm reading Arnold Schwarzenegger's biography, and that's one of the key things he says throughout the book. He had these crazy dreams of being the best actor in the world. And they were like, no way, you have this weird accent, you're foreign, you have this weird, unpronounceable last name, you're this humongous monster of a bodybuilder, and the male leads at the time were more of these slim characters. He didn't let that dissuade you. And so for me, even though I produced these highly polished videos, now I got a comment that said, you know what, I don't like this. I liked it better when you did unedited videos because it was more candid. You're never going to please everyone. You just have to know your purpose, your goal, and follow your overall mission. And my mission is to help others and make the world a better place by helping more people unlock more of their potential. And so hopefully these tips will set you on a different path this year so that maybe you have more of an impactful change with your New Year's resolutions this year. Oh yeah, and bonus tip. If you set a goal, don't give up by February or March or April. If you can make it past that hump, you've beat most people. If you let that excitement and joy of beating those people fuel your momentum, you'll keep that habit going.